Hi guys, this video is on comparing and ordering real numbers. It is a preview lesson before we do this on Thursday. So let's get to it. Alright, so here we have a number line, and on my left side I have my negative numbers, and on my right side I have my positive numbers. So, bigger negatives are on the left side. So as the negatives become more negative, the numbers get bigger. And as we get closer to 0, we have smaller negatives. Alright, and similarly with positive, as we get closer to 0, we have smaller positive numbers. And as we get further away and more to the right, we have bigger positive numbers. So something to keep in mind as you are creating your number lines today. So whenever we're ordering real numbers, we want to start by turning them into our decimal form. And then we're going to approximate, alright, so that means round to 2 decimal places. And it doesn't have to be 2, but just to keep things consistent, we're going to do it to 2 today. Then place the numbers on a number line. Alright. So I see that this first number, 5.2, doesn't have anything else, so I'm going to put a 0 at the end to make it consistent. Alright, and then we have negative 5.6, and the 6 is repeating, so if I'm making that into 2 decimals, it would look like this. Alright, remember to convert this guy, we need to do 9 divided by 10. So I'm going to do that in my calculator. So I get 0.9, and I can't forget about the whole number up front, so it becomes 3.9. And again, just to keep things consistent, I'm going to put a 0. And then this, I'm also going to type in my calculator. That's the square root of 21. And that equals 'm only going to write 2 decimals. So, what I just saw in my calculator, just so you know where that came from. Look, it's going to be irrational, so I'm just going to cut it off at those 2 decimal places. Alright, and now we can order them on our number line. Alright, so remember on a number line, arrows mean it goes on in both directions. So, for example, the next number would be negative 6, and the number over here would be positive 6. Alright, so let's look at the first one. The first one represented 5.2, which is this one. So that would go in between the 5 and the 6. Alright, the next one is negative 5.66. So now I go in the negative direction. And that's going to be in between the negative 5 and the negative 6. So negative 5.66 or 5.6 repeating. I'm going to write the originals on here. Actually, you know what? We'll save the originals for the end. Alright, so now I do 3.9. Just going to go closer to the 4. And then lastly, 4.58. Alright, so let's put these back into their original form. So my smallest number would be negative 5.6 repeating. Then the next one was 3.9. which comes from my fraction, so 3 9/10. My next number was 4.58, which came from square root of 21. And then the biggest number is this. So my order from least to greatest, or smaller to bigger. Alright, so now for the next one, we're just comparing these two numbers. Alright, so I have 5.7145 and the square root of 29. So I'm going to put those both in decimal form. So let's just call this one 5.71. And this one is going to be 5.38. And it continues. Alright, so if I had a number line, let's say this was 5, and then we had 5.1, 5.2, 5.3. Alright, this first number would go after the 5.7. And the second number would go in between 5.3 and 5.4. So what can we say about these two numbers? We can say square root of 29 is smaller than 5.71. Alright, the leach of a sail is a technical term for the slanted edge of a sail, like shown in this picture. If the length of the leach is the length of the leach closer to 5 or 6 meters? So they want to know, is this number closer to 5 or closer to 6? Alright, so I'm actually going to make that a little bigger in just a second. So first, let's put it in our decimal form. So the square root of 30 is 5.4772. Alright. And I'm going to think of this just as two decimals, so 5.47. So if I had a number line, and I started like in my diagram above, 5, 5.1, alright, all the way till I got to 6. Alright, where does this number fall? Alright, this number falls somewhere in between 5.4 and 5.5. So right here is this number, square root of 30. Okay, is that closer to 5 or closer to 6? You can also think about it as money. Is this closer to having $5 or $6? It's pretty close to the middle, but it's actually closer if we're talking about whole numbers. Square root of 30 is closer to 5 on the number line.